Now, in other news, fresh protests have broken out across France as thousands of people have gathered to protest against police brutality. This is the latest in a series of demonstrations seen following a police officer's alleged rape of a 22-year-old man. OK, let's go to our correspondent Charlotte Dubinsky. She joins us on the line from the scene of a protest in Paris. Charlotte, just take us through, what have you seen there this evening?
Well, it's been a tense evening here just in the northern part of the city of Paris. We saw around 1,000 people gathering at this spot earlier in the evening. They were shouting the normal chants that we've heard from the protests over alleged police brutality over the last 2 weeks. We hate the police are racist. And there were cocktails, Molotov cocktails thrown, fires lit here. And the police responded to the demonstrators by throwing tear gas. In fact, there was a cloud of tear gas that engulfed us at one point, making it quite difficult to breathe. And what's happened here is the area where this protest was taking place, the police were sealing it off from all angles. As you might be able to see now, people are trying to leave this area to go off to another protest here in Paris, in the Ménilmontant area. That's where we'll hopefully be heading to next. And these protests were sparked around 2 weeks ago initially, after those allegations that a man from a northern suburb of Paris, Aulnay-sous-Bois, was allegedly raped by a police officer during what was supposed to be a routine ID check. Now, there have been calls for these tensions to be eased, for the protests to die down, but the protesters are not listening, not even to the 22-year-old man who made those allegations of rape in the first place. He called from his hospital bed for people to stand down, for these tensions to be eased, but the protesters aren't listening. They're not happy over what they see as being big issues here in France. It's an old wound, one of racial divisions, and particularly where police brutality is seen as the police using excessive force in some areas, particularly poorer neighbourhoods, and using excessive force particularly against young men from ethnic minority backgrounds. So a big police presence out again here in Paris. 2 weeks on from those original protests, the streets are still being lit here with people shouting they want an end to racism and they want an end to police brutality here in France.
The police took him here, right behind me. His blood, it's pretty much everywhere. Look, there is a lot of it.
As you can see, these protests have often turned violent, and that's again what we have seen tonight here Wednesday evening in Paris, with Molotov cocktails being thrown, with fireworks being thrown by the protesters at the police, and then the police responding in kind with tear gas, kettling people in and trying to hold them in areas. Even now, people are trying to leave this protest to go to another protest, and they're having their IDs checked as they leave this area. Back to you.
So our correspondent Charlotte Dubinsky bringing us right up to date from the scene of those protests there in Paris.